Thank you very much, and happy 5th anniversary. Because you have been consistent, that's the only reason I can. It's one thing to start, it's a whole totally different thing to keep going. A lot of people start but never get to, do not have enough drive to do what they have said they will do. And so many projects are aborted because people do not keep their words, do not keep their persistence. So you guys, you should buy you a cold one. I mean Coca-Cola. So my name is Hubert Sugira Hategekimana, and I'm here with my wife, Jennifer, and my the youngest people in the room are my kids. And I did not want you guys to take what belongs to them before they can take it. Amen. Because this belongs to them first. Wow. And I did not force them to come, by the way. I asked them if they wanted to come with me, and their next question was, what is the topic? Wow. Wow. Because when you force your children or your kids to follow your path, when they get to the point of making their own decisions, the statistics shows that they are going to rebel. A human being is created in a way that anything that is forced on you, you are built to resist it. Okay. The screen. Sorry. That this is for those who have kids or those who are going to have kids. Do not force them to do anything. As a matter of fact, most of people in the faith, most of pastors, they force their kids to go with them to the church. And if you follow the statistics, the numbers, you will see a lot of PK, as they are called, pastor kids. Most of them, they do not want anything to do with the church when they grow up. The reason is, a lot of parents think they're doing well when they force kids to go to do things they do not want to do. And this is really linked even to the topic we want to talk about. We want to talk about purpose-driven career. Purpose-driven career, trying to find the best way to introduce the topic, but when we talk about something that has to do with purpose, do we have maybe one or two people can tell me what you guys think when you hear the word purpose-driven career? One or two people who can help us, so I know or where I have to start from. Yes.
I think that purpose-driven career is to be in a career which you feel passionate about, and which you like, and which you can really see the end in your mind of what you want to achieve or what you want to contribute to that career.
Okay. One, who else? You can pass on the mic. Tell us when you see purpose, you can. Let's start with the word purpose. Then we're going to mix with career to see how.
If I can make a little bit comment about the purpose driving career, I think everyone was created to do something. as human being. I mean, purpose-driven career is the career you're going to do based on what you have been created to do.
Based on what?
What you have been created to do.
Okay. Who else?
For me, I think that when you are determined to a certain passion or to a certain cause, that you think that you want to take for your whole life.
Let me first define what the word purpose means. The word purpose means the reason of anything have been done or created. The purpose of this clicker is mainly the reason, the one who made it. This clicker was made by Logitech. The reason, there was something in the mind of the creator. That thing is what is called purpose. That's what purpose is. Purpose of this projector is not to hold drinks. Purpose of this table is not to sit on it. Purpose is the main reason. The main reason anything have been created. So when we talk about a purpose-driven career, I'm like, okay, so if we're talking about purpose-driven career, what other kinds of career do we have? A purpose-driven career is when your everyday activities marries the reason or your life mission. Is when you make sure that what you do on Monday equals the reason you breathe on Sunday. A purpose-driven career is when what you do on Monday morning is the same reason you're breathing on Sunday evening. For me, there is no success without a purpose-driven career. Why? Because a success of anything, the success of anything is what the thing is doing compared to what it was created for. This table is not successful if you sit on it. Because it was not created in the first place to be used as a seat. If you stand on this table, even if it can hold your weight, it's not successful. So, a successful career is actually a purpose-driven career. Oh, it's there. Okay. And this thing. You're going to move down because so you guys, that's how technology you have to handle it. I have a clicker, but I cannot control it, so you have to go. Okay, so we can. So this is what I was saying. The purpose-driven career is when your career path ensures you are living a life entirely dedicated to a personal life mission. I'm not saying having a hobby. I'm talking about your life entirely is dedicated to your personal life mission. A lot of people have a career life and a personal life. When we talk about a purpose-driven career, you cannot even be, how do you call this thing you get on when you reach 65 years old?
Retirement.
Retirement. There is no retirement with a purpose-driven career, because you will only retire when we take you to the graveyard. A purpose-driven career does not expire until you expire yourself. You know, if there is, you know, it's going to say it's a joke, but have you guys realized most of people, when they retire, they get sick? A lot of people who are sick while they are still working, when they retire, their state deteriorates. Because a human being is created to work. Okay, for those who are believers in the Word of God, you know, a lot of Christians think that work was introduced by the fall. That's not true. A lot of people see work as a curse. Because they will even use scripture saying, you will work at the, how did they say? They will, to the sweat of your head, you will. I'm going to explain to you what that verse means. Because work was introduced, guys, put the work was introduced when God created humans. God said, let me make man in my own image, in our own image, in our likeness, and let them have work, have dominion over the earth. Then he went on to give Adam work to do. I told you I came because you are consistent. Nowadays, my purpose-driven career is really focusing on relationships. That's why this is a detour to come to speak to you. So I was like, these people have been consistent for 5 years. I have to break my own path to come to speak to you today. Because I was like, this is very important for these people. A purpose-driven career. It's sad that a lot of people are spending their lives. Do you guys know why it's very important, a purpose-driven career? A purpose-driven career is when what you do involves every cell in your living body. Have you guys heard that most of people use like 5% of their brain capacity? It's because what they do does not involve 100% of their living organism. A purpose-driven career is when what you do involves everything within you. Why? Because a purpose-driven career is when what you guys are doing. A career is what you do every day. It's what you paid for. A career is not a hobby. A career is not something you are passionate about. A career is what you do from Monday to Sunday. Now, can you imagine if what you do, what you spend 90% of your life does not equal what your life is for? Can you imagine at the end of your life what will be if what you spent 90% of your life doing did not equal, was not the same thing you had life for. I always tell people the most important day of your life is not the day you are born. The most important day of your life is the day you discover why you are born. In other words, is the day you discover your purpose. Because I believe 7.8 billion. The last time I was here, we were 7.7 billion. We added since 1 billion of people. And each and every one has a very specific purpose. There's no one human being on the earth who can to see what others are doing. Do you guys realize there is no one human being on the earth who has your fingerprint? Even those who are born in the same womb, twins, they do not have the same fingerprint. Why? Because each and everyone has an assignment. Now, if you're here, or if you're listening to me, I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to prove to you that you have a purpose. Because if you're listening to this kind of session, it's because you know you have a purpose to fulfill. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that. I hope you know that your life is not an extra. Your life is important. What is your purpose? Your purpose is the reason you are born. The purpose of your life is not one thing, by the way. It's not one event. Your purpose is not one single thing you have to do. Your purpose is the whole package of things you are supposed to accomplish. So a purpose-driven career is when you discover your personal purpose and you make sure you turn it into your life work. What did I say? A purpose-driven career is when you find your life mission, your life purpose, and you turn it into your life work. We cannot talk about the purpose-driven career if you haven't discovered your purpose yet. Now, why do you need to discover your purpose? Why do you need a purpose-driven career? You need a purpose-driven career because that's the only way to be successful in life. Let me ask you a question. Do you see cars, racing car? These cars they use for races. What is the purpose of that car? Is to run as fast as it can to reach the point, the end point. That's the purpose of a racing car. What is the purpose of a whole? These big trucks. These big trucks are built to carry things and to be able to throw them when it's time. The purpose of those two things are different. Now, can you imagine a racing car being happy and proud because it went faster than a truck? The purpose is different. This truck was not built to go fast. It was built to carry weight. Now let me ask you a question. Why do we keep trying to imitate, trying to compare ourselves to other people when no one human being has a purpose, has your purpose? Why do you have to discover your purpose? You have to discover your purpose because that is going to give you can you come back once? Oh, okay. So go first forward. Yeah. Give me that. Go 1, 2, 3. Why? What are the benefits? The first benefit is fulfillment. Because you're doing why you're created. A racing car is fulfilled when it's going at the top speed. A truck is fulfilled when it's carrying weight. A human being is only fulfilled. Fulfillment is not the absence of obstacles. Fulfillment is that deep satisfaction you can only get when you do what you're created for. When you do what you're created for, automatically you're going to have a fulfilled life. Not only that, but you're going to have longevity, and we're going to see why. Do you guys understand that most of people who die by heart attack, do you know when they die? I'm going to give you one more. When you go back home, or if you have your phone with internet, Google and see when is the time where most of people have heart attack. Can anyone guess? Yes.
When they're disappointed.
When they are disappointed, okay. When?
Monday.
Someone?
Monday mornings.
Monday mornings between 8 and 9. That's when most of people who have heart attacks, that's when they die. Because that's when most of people are submitted to a very high stress. They are going to a place they hate to impress people they don't care about. We call it a job. The only reason is because what they are doing is not linked to who they are. A lot of people have a saying, thank God it's Friday. Do you know why? Because they hate their job. People are happy when they leave that place to go to enjoy 2 days of the weekend and go back to the hell of their lives on Monday mornings. That's why a lot of people cannot sustain that thing. When your career is not the same as your life assignment, it kills you, literally. It's going to eat you alive. So, you're going to have a greater quality of life because every day is not work. Every day is enjoyment. When you discover your life assignment, you can go and they will have to stop you. By the way, do you know, for those who believe in God, the Sabbath day, the day of rest, is only for people who have discovered their purpose. Let me explain to you why. God does not ask you to do things you want to do. Have you ever seen in the Bible where the Bible says, you shall eat, thou shalt drink, for those who like King James? Have you ever seen in the Bible telling you, thou shalt drink water? There's no need for that. So why would God tell you, you have to work 7 days, and I'm making it a command, you have to rest 1 day? Because when you discover your purpose, God will have to stop you to work. Because you do not even want to stop. Those who have, there is few people who do not need that Sabbath thing. They want to rest every day. When you have a purpose-driven career, you are the top in your field. Let me explain to you why. Anything you do consistently, you're going to succeed in it. Anything you do and keep doing, you're going to become good at it. People who are gifted in a certain thing, in certain ways, they're going to have easy way. But even if you are not good at something, and you apply your life into it, you're going to succeed into it. It may take you longer, it may take you extra work, but you will eventually be successful. Now, you do not need to give extra work, because if your career is what you are created for, it means you are equipped for it. Show me someone who has a purpose-driven career. I will show you someone who is at the top of his game. Because what God calls for, He provided for. God will never ask you, God never asked you to be seedful. He said to be fruitful. You cannot bring a fruit if there is no seed inside. God is telling you, give me the fruit of the seed I already planted in your life. Matter of fact, let me tell you, for those who call themselves Christians, there is no such thing as a Christian who does not have a purpose-driven career. Because, can you go to the next slide, please? Next. Ephesians 2:10 tells us that we are His workmanship. This is my favorite verse in the Bible. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are His workmanship, created in Jesus Christ for good works that were prepared beforehand, so we may do them. This is the foundation of a purpose-driven career. God is saying, there are some good works. There are works I prepared. There is a career I already set. Not just to set it, so that I prepared before. So you have to come and do it. Matter of fact, Jesus died because of your career. Oh, you thought he was going to heaven? Wait. Look here. Created in Christ is being born again. Can you agree on that?
Yeah.
Being created in Christ is being born again. What is the purpose of being born again? What is the purpose of salvation? Not to go to heaven. Let's read the Bible. We are four stands for what? Purpose. The reason something is done. Okay, let's read again. We are His workmanship. We are His masterpiece. He took time, as David said, who am I? God took time to craft you. And then that was not enough. He said, okay, that's not enough. Let me send Jesus to give you salvation, created in Christ. And then He explains why. For good works. What works? The ones you want? No. The ones that God prepared beforehand, so you come and do. That is a purpose-driven career. Purpose-driven career is not something you come up with. Is you find those works God has created for you, and then you do them. Then tell me how you're going to fail to something God already prepared for your life. Success, okay, let me tell you. Do you know at the judgment day, the last day, they will come and bring the list of things you was created to do, and they will check, did you do them? Oh, you thought your purpose was just to worship. Oh, Ephesians 1:11. In Him we also chosen, having been predestined. That means predestined is the destiny means the end. That means the end before the beginning. This is what this verse says. According to the plan of Him who works out of everything in conformity with the purpose of His will. Okay, let me explain to you why God, our God, the one we worship, is different from other gods. Can you go next thing? Yes. So, Isaiah 46, verse 9 to 10 says, truly I am God, and there is none like me. I have no peer, and I'm God, and there is none like me. He's saying, what makes me God? What makes me having no peer is one thing. I set up the end before the beginning. God starts things. No. God finishes things, then he starts them. I want to explain to you why a purpose-driven career is very important. I set up the end before the beginning, reveals beforehand what has not yet occurred. Then he's going to explain to us how and what makes him God. My purpose is fixed, and I will do all my pleasure. In other words, God finished your life before he formed you in your mother's womb. There are things God created, then he said, okay, because of these works, I want being fulfilled in this generation. I need to create Hubert. I'm going to make sure, because of the purpose I'm created him for, I will make sure he will be born in this family. Because of the DNA I want him to have, he will have this kind of skin, he will have this kind of height rather, he will have this kind of voice chords. Everything, every cell in your living body is because of your purpose. He said at the end, before the beginning. You should not even struggle with your purpose. And he says, my purpose is fixed, and I will do all my pleasure. Other verses says, my zeal will perform those things. When you find your purpose-driven career is no longer who works, God is saying, I'm going to do everything to make sure that your purpose is a success. That your career is a success. What a way to live. When you find your purpose, when you dedicate your life to have a career that impresses the reason God created you, you do not have enemies. Who comes against you is coming against God. Who has problems with you, you will find God on his way. Your aunt in the village cannot come against you. What we commonly call karande cannot stick on you. There is nothing that can stop a person whose life career embraces his life purpose. You guys know that Japanese people, can you go back to the thing, go back again. Yes. I want us to talk about this thing. This is a Japanese concept of purpose. I found it amazing. Guys, let me tell you, we do not have exclusivity to the knowledge of God. Because a lot of people who have the Bible are not interested in doing what their life purpose is. They're interested in singing and going to heaven. God had to find other people and give them wisdom. I have nothing against worship. I have nothing against going to heaven. But that's not the purpose of your life. If that was the purpose of your life, the minute you are saved, you should be there and go to heaven. No? If you believe that the purpose of your life is going to heaven, why when you get sick, you go to the hospital? Okay, if you believe deep inside, before you throw stones on me, let's talk. If you really believe that the purpose of your life is going to heaven, what is the only way to go to heaven? Isn't dying? So let me ask you a question. Why don't you get excited when death knocks on your door? I haven't met anyone yet who's like, yeah, my dad is dead. No. The most lucrative industry is health industry. So how can you tell me that you believe that your purpose is to die and you invest a lot of money trying to live? It's because deep inside in your DNA, you know you have to live. What kind of life are we talking about? We are talking about you have to find what. There are 4 things you have that your purpose is going to embrace. Your purpose is going to be what you love. Why? Because that's the reason you're created. Guys, God is not going to create you for a reason and then build you in a way you do not enjoy doing it. That's why I was saying, someone who's in a purpose-driven career is going to be at the top of his game. Why? If you love what you're doing, you're going to constantly doing it. Show me someone who's doing something he's passionate about. I will show you someone who does not count how many hours he's doing it. A purpose-driven career is something you're good at. Why? Because you're created for that. You are equipped for it. So not only are you going to enjoy it, but you're going to be good at it. Have you ever seen people like Messi playing football? Man, it's an art. They're good at that. These people are paid either they play or not. Have you seen how they react when they ask them to get out of the pitch? They're not happy. Why? They enjoy what they're doing. Probably I'm talking about that because I was watching the game before I came. That's what is in my mind. But I was thinking about that. These people are paid either they play or not. So it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with their passion. By the way, these people sometimes they will accept to lose money to go into a club where they can play. Am I right, Bibi?
Yes.
Football players, they will accept to cut on their pay to join a club where they're going to be aligned. They're going to be in the first team. Why? Because it's not about money. It's about their passion and what they're good at. Now, your purpose-driven career has to be something the world needs. It has something that your generation is looking for. Why? Because you need to be paid for it. Let me tell you, I posted this meeting on my social media. The number one question people are asking, how much is it? If your career is not something people are looking for, you're going to have very hard time people paying for you. People paying for you to give them what you do. Find something you are good at. Find something you love to do. Something that the world needs, and they are willing to pay you to do it. And you will have fulfillment. There is a danger of you doing something you love, you're passionate about, you're good at. Something you love and you're good at is your passion. Am I right? But if you just do something you're passionate about and you're good at, is your passion, you're going to have satisfaction, but you're going to feel useless. what you're doing is something you're good at and you're passionate about, only you're going to be satisfied. You're going to feel awe, but you will feel useless. A purpose-driven career is what you love, what you're good at, which is your passion, but it has to meet something that the world needs. Something that you will be able to be paid for. That's why we're talking about a career. I prefer a purpose-driven career than a purpose-driven life, because you can have a purpose-driven life if all you're doing is your passion. You will be satisfied by broke. If what you're doing is what you love, and that thing is what the world needs, you are only going to be going after your mission. It's not bad, but this is what is going to happen. You will have an excitement and complacence, but sense of uncertainty, because you're not good at that thing. You can have a passion, you can love something, the world needs that thing, but you're not good at it. I love singing. But boy, I'm not good at that thing. The world needs musicians. I'm glad because my kids, I think, probably they're going to be good at that thing. Yeah, my daughter is like, yeah. You see, I love it, it's my passion, but I'm not good at that. So if I try to do it, I will be excited, but I will be unsettled. I'll be guessing around. People do not do business with people who are not sure. You see, let's say what you do, your career is something you are good at, passionate about, and they are paying you for it. It's your profession. It's very good. Most of people are in this area. But you're going to be comfortable, but you feel empty. That's why people get excited on Fridays, not on Mondays. You're going to be paid because you're good at that thing, and people are willing to pay for you. That's a professional. The problem with that is you want to be comfortable. You get money, you have money, you can pay for things, but you are empty. Yeah, I'm seeing head nodding. They know that feeling. Doing things, and at the end of the day, you're like, I have a very good background, but what am I doing with my life? That is the sense of emptiness. That's why you have to find your passion, what you love and what you're good at. You have to mix it with your mission, what you love and what the world needs. And then, that thing you find, people have to be willing to pay you for it. That's when you find that concept of a purpose-driven career. If what you do is not good enough for people to pay you good money for it, it's not your purpose. Guys, I told you, God created you for a purpose. If God created you for a reason, it's because other people need it. If there is a reason God created you, it's because other people need it. Guess what? If you give in to people what they need, they are never going to have issues to pay you for it. Most of people here have a cell phone, a mobile phone, right? Did you get it for free? You paid for it. Why? Because you need it. I used to do things for free. What did I say? I used to. Till I discover if what I'm doing is not good enough for people to pay for it, I have to find something else. Oh, you're going to tell me, oh, what? Then someone is asking himself, but then what do you do with non-profit organizations? If what your non-profit organization is doing, it may not do it for profit, but those who have a need of what you're doing, they are going to sustain you. Let me tell you, if you are broke, if you're constantly in the need of resources, if you have to beg for money, what you're doing is not a purpose-driven career. What you're doing is probably your passion, it's probably your mission. We may even call it vocation. Vocation is what the world needs, you are paid for it, that's your vocation, it's your calling. But if it's not your passion, you are not fulfilled still. Yeah. If what you're doing is your mission and your passion, you are delighted, but you have no wealth, you are broke. A purpose-driven career has to have all these ingredients mixed in one thing. Have you found it yet? Have you found something you're good at? You enjoy doing, that the world needs and is willing to pay for it? That's what a purpose-driven career is. When you find that thing, you have fulfillment, you have enjoyment of life, you have long life, there's no stress, and guess what? You have wealth. God told the children of Israel, He said, I will bless you. And He explains, not by being broke. A lot of people think that because we're with God, you're going to do something that is your passion. Hey, if your passion is not something the world needs, think twice. I'm not saying that your passion is not what the world needs, but maybe you haven't refined it yet. Do we have time? How long do we have?
6:30. But we'll be having a session of questions also at 6:30.
Because I don't think I will have time to go through the 7 phases for you to discover the thing. There are 7 phases you have to go through. No question about it. When you go through these 7 phases, you end up in there. Ikigai is the word for Japanese, talking about life of a purpose-driven life. This is a concept in the Japanese. You guys know the Japanese people live the longest on the earth. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. These people are amazing. Not so long ago, during World War II, these people were destroyed. The only people who have suffered atomic bombardment in the world. You went to Japan, right? You went there.
Yeah.
And you've been to US and to Europe. How can you compare them? In terms of infrastructure, in terms of development. Do Japanese people have anything to wish from others?
Their infrastructure, they are very much ahead from other countries in the world.
What did he say? They are infrastructure-wise, they are very much ahead from other people. Only not even 100 years ago. Maybe say maybe it's because they do not live for money, they do not live because of passion, they do not only live because of life mission, they combine everything in one. When you do something God created you for, He's going to give you ideas. He's going to inspire you. And you're not going to get tired. You're going to always keep trying to improve. I've seen people, that's what I was telling you. Those who have found their life purpose, they need God to tell them, stop, go and rest. Because if God does not say that, people are going to kill themselves. So probably for the sake of having time, I think I'm going to stop here for today. And then the other day we'll talk about 7 phases. Because I don't think, let me just give you a list of them. Can you go to the maybe slide of 7 phases? I call them 7 R's. Probably because of one. Go to the 7 R's. Go. It's almost at the end. Go. Yes. Go. Keep going. Yes. No. Come to the end. No. So these are the 7 phases you have to go through for you to be able to connect to your purpose-driven career. Number 1, you have to reconnect. Reconnection talks about you reconnecting back to your Creator. Because you cannot talk about purpose if you are not talking about the one who gave you life. Purpose is only found in the mind of the Creator. That's why Logitech, when they created this thing, they put their name on it. So when you have any question about this thing, you go back to them. I will never call Apple asking for this Logitech. When you have a Mercedes-Benz, do you call Toyota for parts? No. Guess what? Every manufacturer put his image on the product. Every manufacturer put his image on his product. This thing has an image of the manufacturer. Because any question you want to ask, refer back to the manufacturer. You cannot discover your purpose if you have not reconnected to your Creator. That's why I say you do not get saved for you to go to heaven. You get saved for you to discover the mind of your Creator so you can know why He created you. Once you connect to Him, you have to renew your mind. You have to align your thinking to His ways. The manufacturer of my car says, this car needs water and gasoline. I have to adjust the way I think about his product to what he created the product to do. This projector, you see the image. There is an image of the manufacturer. So if I have a question, I know where to go. For those who did not understand what I mean, is when God created, He said, let us make man in our own image. So there is no guessing around. You know where to go to find the reason anything is done. HP, anything, Lenovo. These people, they always put their image on their products. Guess what? You have the image of your product. Inyanje, for those, for the purpose of those who are online, you see, there is always an image of the manufacturer. Why? Because they do not want you to guess. They want you to know if you have a problem. If you think, you see, your purpose goes with your design. This thing was designed for an easy hold. You see, I can hold it easily. I can go around with it. It's different from a bottle that is not meant to be carried away. You see, your purpose, your design, the way you are designed, guys, there is one thing I know. People who are trying to change who they are, they haven't discovered their purpose. People who do not feel good in their skin, they haven't discovered their purpose. Back in the days, before I discovered why I was created, I used not to like a lot of traits I have on my body. When I was a kid, they used to joke with my ears. They used to say it's big. And I used not to like it until I discovered everything I have on me is because of my purpose. Back in the days when I lived in North America, I used not to like my accent. I was like, man, this African accent is not good. Until people in the US told me they prefer to listen to me because of a different accent, they pay more attention. When you discover your purpose, you fall in love with yourself. You stop trying to be like someone else. That's what discovering or renewing your mind is. You have to align your mind to what you have been connected to. Then, only when you have aligned your mind to the mind of your Creator, only that, when He can reveal to you, allow you to rediscover the reason you are created. A lot of people have not discovered it because their minds are still not renewed yet. The minute you rediscover your life assignment, it's not time yet to go after it. Why? You have to refine your gifts. If you are passionate about something but you're not good at it, did you see what is going to happen? A lot of people make a mistake here. They discover one thing, but they do not refine themselves. You have to become good at that thing. You have to discover your gift, but you have refined your assignment. You can discover your purpose. But if you're not refined, if you haven't sharpened your gifts, your skills, you're still not good at anything. Once you refine yourself, you will have to be restored in your whole mind. Restoration deals with you healing from your past. You cannot fully express what God has created for if you still have resentment in your body, in your heart. You have to be restored in your soul. Then when you are restored in your soul, you can only be released into giving to your generation what you are created for. What triggers your release? You are only released when you hear a cry, when you see a need. Because a lot of people tell me, how do you know it's time to go after your purpose? When you have discovered a need. In business development, I call it when you have seen an opportunity, a lack. I'm passionate about leadership, but I discovered a lot of people are not hungry about leadership, but they are crying about their marriages. The last time I came here, I was passionate about leadership. I'm still passionate about leadership, but that's not what I do today. Because I tried, and I discovered people are not crying for it. if I have called a meeting saying how to discover your spouse, this room was going to be full and people have paid to enter. Discover something you're good at that the world is crying for. Key. When people are crying for something, they will pay any price you ask them. Last but not least, for you to be fully fulfilled, you have to reproduce yourself. Reproduction is not having kids only. Reproducing yourself is making sure what you have been doing can carry on in next generations. When you discover your life purpose, when you discover your purpose-driven career, you do not want it to die with you. It's built in. You want it to carry on. That's why you have to reproduce after yourself. When you go through these 7 phases, I can guarantee you, you will have fulfillment, enjoy life, and you will not be poor. That's what, for me, means to discover a purpose-driven career. Thank you very much. Do you have any question? How did you organize? Did you just ask questions?